well there's no point in looking for cookery tips in here. Not unless I'm Hannibal Lecter. And I'm not. I'm Sam Stone, I'm a horror author, and I love to cook. This is my other passion. And today I'm going to attempt, for the very first time, doing a Beef Wellington. Don't know how it's going to go, because I've never done it, but I am following Gordon Ramsay's recipe off the BBC. I have been looking at comments on there as well and noticed that a lot of people were saying that sometimes the recipe doesn't quite work out. So with that in mind, I'm making a few adjustments. Anyway, let's get on with it. To begin with, first thing, lovely piece of fillet here. I bought this size because I thought it was perfect for 5 people who I've got for dinner this evening. And we're supposed to put over a tablespoon of olive oil, rub that in, and then pepper it. So we've oiled it, and now we're going to put plenty of pepper on it. And I'm going to turn this over and pat this in. Now, Gordon's recipe, it doesn't say salt, but to be honest with you, I really like to aggressively season my food, so I'm going to put some of the salt on as well. Lovely. Now, Gordon's recipe says that you put this on a non-stick tray. Now, I prefer Pyrex dishes to cook my roast in. It doesn't say anything about covering it, but it says to put it into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes actually. If you want it medium rare, it's 15 minutes. If you want it medium, it's 20. Now, looking at the adjustments that other people have made to the recipe, I'm going to put it in for 30 minutes. It's going to go into my oven at 220, and I'm going to do that now. Wow, that is hot. Now for the next part of the recipe. I'm going to attempt to make a duchelle. This could go horribly wrong because I've never done that before. But according to Gordon's recipe, all I need is these few ingredients. So, first of all, chestnut mushrooms. You need 9 ounces of these. Then we have 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Next, 5 ounces, no, sorry, 2 ounces of butter. Then we have, it says, 1 large branch of thyme. Now I put a bit more in there because I didn't know what large was. So again, I'm just speculating, just guessing like anybody else would have to do. Let's see how it goes. First of all, the mushrooms. We're going to finely chop these until they are the consistency of breadcrumbs. And I'm going to use this clever little gadget I have here to do just that. Right, put those in. I'm going to have to do this in about 3 batches because it's a very small little bowl. Let's put those them until I'm happy. Let's have a look at that. It's starting to look like breadcrumbs. Let's see. What do you think? So I'm going to just tip these in here and then get some more. Empty that up. Them all out. I think that's very breadcrumb-esque. There's maybe a few bits of big pieces in there that I might have to just do manually. Or maybe throw them back in. Just make this work, really. So now the next part of the recipe is that we put the 50 grams of butter and the 2 tablespoons of olive oil into a pan and warm them up. Melting the butter. And then when we've done that, we're going to add the mushrooms and we're going to stir it and we're going to put in the thyme. So just melt all the butter in the pan into the olive oil. So we're almost there. I just love the smell of melted butter. And olive oil is so good for you. I think we're ready now to put mushrooms in. And here we go. In they are. All in. And we've got to stir this in with a sprig of thyme in there. Wow. I'm hoping this was enough olive oil. Although it does say that it is quite firm in the recipe. I've got to simmer this now for 10 minutes, stirring regularly. So I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit. So we're going to turn the heat down now because we're going to simmer this for 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. And it's already starting to look really good. So while the mushrooms are cooking, I've managed to find some wine that hasn't actually been drunk yet, and in this house that's quite an achievement. So I need 100, there we go, just measure that, and this is going to go into the dish shell with some salt and pepper very shortly. One for the chef. Cheers. So now we've been cooking the duxelle for 10 minutes. I've got to season it. Now this is going to be a bit hit and miss because I don't know how much I'm going to need, so I'm going to have to test it. Taste it a little bit and see how it is. Put a little bit of pepper in there, I think. Give it a taste. I think it could stand a bit more. Good, I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to add. Now I'm going to add the white wine. So what we've got to do here is we've got to put all of this dry white wine, I've chosen Chardonnay, into the pan, and then we now have to. Oh, there's our meat ready. We now have to reduce this again for another 10 minutes. And in this case, we're going to be burning off the wine a little bit, and it will get into a consistency where it's quite firm and will stay into a position if it's moulded. So while the duxelle is reducing, I'm going to get the meat out of the oven. There we go. Wow, that looks great. Smells gorgeous. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Wow. Now this has to cool for about 20 minutes, so I'm going to take it out of the dish. I'm going to put it onto another plate, and then I'm going to let it cool, ready for the next part of the recipe. Gosh, look at that. That just looks amazing. There we go. All ready. Before we can do anything else, I need to put this in the fridge to chill for 20 minutes. Perfect. So the duxelle's ready. I'm now going to scoop it out into another bowl and let it cool. Turn this off, and I'm going to start bringing this out of the video. It doesn't look a lot. I'm hoping this is going to be enough. Just the last bits out of there. We'll not waste any of it if we can. There we go. And then we've got to discard the piece of thyme. I don't want to lose any of those lovely mushrooms, so I'm going to shake that out a little bit. There we go. Now this is now going to go in the fridge. Fingers crossed it works. Off the heat. I'm going to put this in the fridge, along with that lovely piece of beef, which is chilling nicely, hopefully. There we go. I think about another 20 minutes. So the next part, I've already started. What you have to do is lay out some cling film onto a large chopping board and then put 12 pieces of prosciutto onto that. So this shouldn't take me very long to do. I'm making some decisions as I'm doing this because it isn't really obvious in the recipe what you should do. It doesn't tell you which direction you are going to be rolling the meat, so I've decided that I'm going to put it that way down and roll it across that way and then tuck everything in later. So here we go. In a moment I'm going to smear on half of the duchelle onto the prosciutto. It's been in the fridge for quite a while now, so it's quite set. And then I'm going to put the piece of beef that's also cool in the centre, and I'm going to roll this around. I think I've got a bit more pieces here than it recommends, but I think we'll just use it all. Why not? Handy pieces of well, after rereading the instructions, I've realised that half the duchelle needs to be in this sort of centre area where the beef is going to be, because it's going to be underneath the beef. So I'm going to just put that on there. So put half of that on there. There we go. And then I'm just going to smear it where I think the beef is going to be, roughly, which is about there. I have tried it already. I'm just going to put that all as evenly as I can. I'm not sure if Gordon Ramsay would do it like this. I'm sure he'd do it a lot better, but I do love his recipes, so I'm enjoying trying this one out. Almost there. Just smear it out a little bit more, and then I'm going to reach for the beef. I'm going to put it on, and we're going to see how this works out. There we go. Oh, it's a lovely piece of meat. Perfect. I think that's perfect. Now what we're supposed to do is smear the rest of it on top. Now I think there's no way of doing this without getting your hands in it, so I'm going to put some on. I'm going to be using my fingers quite a lot because I think that's the best way to do this. So it's coming on very nicely, this, I think. And a little bit at the sides. Almost like you're icing a cake, I suppose. Really nice. So far hasn't been too difficult. And so I'm thinking this is potentially going to be okay. It'll be a complete disaster for my dinner party if it isn't, but I'm sure we'll live with it. And I have got some other food I can pull out if worst comes to worst, or we'll just eat veggies. But I think it's going to be okay. Looking at that, wow. I think I'll just use my fingers a little bit more here, get this in. And it is staying where it's supposed to, so I think the duchelle has been done reasonably okay. I think I've got it right anyway. Put that up there. So we're pretty much there. The duchelle's covered, covering all the meat, and now we're supposed to roll the prosciutto over it. Now this is going to be tricky. It's never done this before, so let's give it a go. Here we go. I think I'll have to pull some of that back. Oh, and that just about works. Now I'm supposed to twist this really tight. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the prosciutto, so I'm going to improvise here again and just tuck that in. I think that should go up like that. That makes sense to me. And then we'll twist that very tight there. I'll do that with the other side. Put that in. Oh, that looks good. Twist it as tight as you can. And then that's now got to go back into the fridge. So we've now wrapped up all of the meat and the prosciutto and the duchelle, and I'm going to put this in the fridge to chill for a little while I roll the pastry. So we're at the final stages now of this Beef Wellington. I bought a ready-made puff pastry and it's all already rolled, so that's very easy for me. And now, according to Gordon's recipe, I need to just put this egg yolk, which is 2 eggs with a little bit of water that's been whipped a little bit, and then I have to do this around the edges. And what I've decided to do, because I'm not doing it exactly like Gordon's recipe, which recommended 2 pieces of the pastry and then you kind of crimp them around the edges, I'm going to crimp it on one side. So I'm going to put this here like that, sort of in the centre. I think that works. And then I'm going to roll it over this side. Oh, hang on, nearly forgot. I have to brush the sides and the top with the egg yolk as well, all over. And I think this is obviously to help it grip. I think that looks good. I think we're now ready to pull this over. This is going to be fun. That down a little bit. And I think we're going to have to push that down like that and maybe peel this back to see what I'm doing. Wow, looks good. That's working. I'm supposed to trim some of these edges so that they're not too wide. Okay, so I've rethought things a little bit, as you have to do when you're cooking. You have to change your mind sometimes, and I've decided that I've just added a little bit more egg here, and I'm going to fold this in like it's a parcel. I think that would be more effective, so I have to cut this side a little bit here so that works for me. There we go.
More egg.
Tuck this
More
in.
Egg. More egg.
A little bit more egg. Like that, just to make sure that all holds together. This looks lovely. I'll do the other side the same. I'll turn it round a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I'll put that in. A little bit in there. A bit more egg. Like that. That's it. Fold that in. There we go. Tuck that in. A little bit more egg. Keep this, hopefully will bond it all. I don't know if that's the case, but I think it will. And we'll put that up there. So we've got a nice little parcel there now. Now, what to do with this bit? I'm thinking that I need to crimp it a little bit, but it seems too large to me, so I'm going to cut some of this off and see how that works. And there we go. And I'll do a little bit of this, bit of egg on it, I think. I don't know if this will work quite how I like it, but I want to have a bridge there that's not too obvious in this parcel, and that's really what I'm aiming for. There we go. I think that's going to work. Push this in a bit with a knife, make it all meld together. The same with the sides here. So it all becomes a bit more of a solid piece. Turn it round a bit more. It just secures it a little bit better. Blends it in. There we go. And here we go, more egg. Loving this egg. Hopefully make it all golden brown. Oh, lovely. And lots of it. Glazed beautifully. You know, I'm not a big pastry fan, but this looks so delicious already, and I've just got the feeling I'm going to really enjoy this myself and find anybody else. And then we've got to do final bit of scoring, very, very gently. I think I'll do it this way. Just careful not to go right the way through. Just create some little lines on with the back of a knife. I think that works. It might be nice if I do it across as well. Be a bit inventive, why not? There we go. I think I'm happy with that. Now the last bit, this is now going to go back in the fridge for a good half an hour chilling. Then we're going to glaze it again and we're going to put it in the oven just before we're ready to eat it. Well, after all that, I've now tidied up, and I think it's time I went to get myself tidied up. So, I'll see you again very shortly. Well, I'm ready. All I need now is my yes. So I think the beef Wellington's ready now. My guest's already here. I'm going to take it out of the oven and we're going to give it a rest for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to cut into it and see, is this the moment of truth? Wow, looks good. Oh, look at that. On the face of things, that looks pretty good. I don't know though, we'll have to see when we cut into it. 10 minutes time. And now the moment of truth. Have we done it right, or have I completely ruined it? Probably this latter. Let's give it a go. Oh, how do you cut into this thing? Oh no. Oh my god.
It's perfect.
It's come out perfect. What do you think, Aisha?
Perfect.
Oh.
Well
Wow.
done.
There we go.
You should have seen my first one. Soggy bottom and a
I think
moving
it might
animal.
be a little bit soggy. It might be.
No, it's beautiful.
Oh wow. Look at that.
Let's see.
Oh, lovely. That's
Oh,
how
it's
I like my
beautiful.
pieces.
And I'll have the end.
You like
'Cause
them
I like
all.
it
Well
better.
done. Brilliant.
There you go. And you're both on camera.
And so Jane and I,
Well,
thank you.
That's very
Jane
good.
and I can have the medium rare.
Jane wants hers moving.
Yep, that's us two there then, I think. Look at that. Gosh, that's worked.
Now what
So
you need
happy.
to do, you need to remember now and to tell me exactly what the timing was, exactly how long, and
I
just
will.
keep and just keep
It
You
was
repeating.
a
can watch the
work in
video,
progress.
Aisha. You can watch the video.
You can watch the
That is
video.
fantastic.
Oh,
Working progress.
Is this horseradish by any chance?
It is horseradish.
cheers everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wait a
God,
minute.
she's
Go.
ambitious.
trying now
looking
the
blonde.
beef
I
Wellington.
know. I wouldn't want to do
No,
that.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Even though I've done
Oh,
some nice
wonderful.
things, I've done some terrible things.
That really is.
Is that working?
Is that
You must-
tasty?
Brilliant.
Cheers, darling.
Thank you,
You
everybody.
have to do it again.
Close friends, but scary
Let's
to
give
do
this a
something for the
try.
first time.
For the
isn't
first
it?
time, yeah, I know.
Okay, first time. I like mine like this, where it's pink, very pink in the middle. It can be almost moving for me. So,
Jane likes it with fur, don't you?
No.
oh my god,
Rare. Or do you like
I
it
like it
medium?
medium rare.
Medium.
This is perfect for me.
that is perfect. I'm so
Okay,
happy.
I want to
I'm very stoked.
I want to taste.
Wardrobe makeup, Miss Bruff.
I know. I can't believe I'm being filmed eating. You taste this.
What do you think, Aisha?
I'm going to move in here. Why on earth would I cook at home? Why would I cook on here? Fantastic, Sam.
Really good.